Morning. Today I'm going to make homemade baked beans in the Cookstove. And the first thing you have to do with beans is you have to soak them overnight. These are white navy beans. And some people like different beans, but this works great for me. So the first thing we do is soak them overnight. Already picked through them. They're not too bad. And you're going to rinse them. Now you want to throw away the water that you soaked them in. But the water you're going to boil them in is you actually are going to use in your pot. So from here, we're going to go over here. We're going to boil these. You don't want to boil them till they fall apart, but you want to boil them so they're soft, because the rest of the cooking is going to be done in the stove. So you want it to boil, get a nice boil out of this, but you do not want it, again, to get soft. So we have to keep an eye on it. So I've taken the beans off the Cookstove, and I've taken some out. And you don't want these so soft that they won't mash like that with your finger. They could even be a little harder, but this is fine. You don't want them where they taste good too. You don't want them where they fall apart to the point of they're just mush, because now they're going to bake for a few hours. So some of my ingredients here is I do a small white onion. I don't like red onions. I don't like to overpower the flavor. Third a cup of sugar, half a cup of sugar, sorry. Third a cup of molasses. You're going to put quarter teaspoon of ground ginger. You don't have to use it. 2 teaspoons of ground mustard. I like salt pork, so I put a couple pieces of salt pork in there. Salt, 1 teaspoon of salt. And I mix the ginger and the mustard together here, just to make the video go faster instead of measuring everything out. So again, half a cup of sugar, 1 small white onion, third a cup of molasses. I add a little bit more later because I like the taste. Some salt pork, teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of ground mustard, third of teaspoon of ginger. Optional. Okay. So I put my beans in my grandmother's old bean pot here. This is an old one. I like it. It bakes great. Makes me think of my grandmother every time I do it. And some people say don't use them, but you know what? My age, it's too late. So I pour the water that it's boiled in with the beans in there. I take the other ingredients, onions, salt pork, everything's going in here. I will be stirring this. Onion, salt, sugar, mustard and ginger. As these cook in the stove, I'll show you as we go along. You might have to add water. Might stir them a little bit, but you want to be careful. You don't need anything like a metal spoon or anything like that. So you just want to be able, and this is the molasses. And I like the metal, this here, because the water is nice and hot. So the molasses comes off a lot easier. So that's basically it. I'm gonna cover them. Now I'm going to place these in the oven. I keep it kind of towards here. I'm going to have to turn this because everybody, if you've used the old cook stoves, they're not insulated like the new ones. So this is the hottest part. So you want to keep turning it. You don't want to just keep cooking one side of the beans. You want to turn it. So I leave them about there. And this is hot, let me tell you. So that's that. You can see it's hot in here. So now it's just a process of checking them every once in a while, just to make sure there's enough water in them, because they will still absorb more water. And you want to make sure they don't burn. The problem with a lot of people is they cook them and they don't check it, and the next thing they come up, they got dried beans. So I've taken these out. They've been in probably 45 minutes. I just wanted to show you. Now they've already changed color. So as you can see, now they'll start absorbing some of the water. So I took them out because I want to turn it because this oven is very hot. So I just wanted to show you, what it looks like. And it's hot. So this is the second time I've checked these. And as you can see, they're very hot, but you can see that they've been absorbing water. So at this point, I want to add some more. I'm going to stir them too. You don't have to add a lot. You can see there. They'll start getting browner and browner, so I want to add just a little bit more. You can see that you don't have to go overboard on water, but you don't want them drying out. So that's good, and then I'll check them just about every hour, just to keep an eye on them. If you're going to do this in a regular stove, I'd say 350 is a good temperature, probably 7 hours, 6 to 7. You have to check them and then just taste them, and when you think they're done, I'll show you at the end here how these look. So at this point, the beans have been in 3.5 hours, and you can see they really smell good, and they're hot, and you can see the steam. I'm going to stir them. Add a little bit more water. So the beans are done. They've been in for almost 6 hours. And they smell great. Got a few hot dogs cooking on the stove. So now we're going to ladle it out. So that's what they look like. They taste great. I like that salt pork in there. This is a nice, it's cold today, the wind's off the ocean, so the ocean is pretty cold. So it's a nice day to have some hot dogs
And
and homemade beans.
very good, Tom.
Very good. Thanks for watching.